number of years ago when you used to put your travel bag around your golf clubs, and the thing was flimsy, and every time the baggage handlers got a hold of the thing, it was just a disaster, and broken clubs, really bad stuff until, and it's quite amazing, until everybody started to learn about Club Glove, and once you got a Club Glove cover for your golf clubs to send them in, everything changed. You had the great little plastic thing on the back for protection. The inside was large enough. There was room to... It was understood by somebody who teed it up how to make this thing work, and we've got that somebody with us, and it's Jeff Herold, and he's the founder and CEO of Club Glove USA. And good morning, and let's do a shameless promo for one of the great products in the game.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate it. Good to be on the show this morning, and I got to tell you, one of the greatest honors for our company was getting one of the top 10 innovations in golf by Golf Digest over the last 20 years. They threw a Club Glove in there, as along with different golf balls and the oversized drivers. So we thought that was pretty cool.
Well, it is pretty cool, and in some ways, it's almost like you've got a happy monopoly. Nobody's really on your heels, are they?
Well, not really. I mean, there's other travel bags out there. There's no doubt about that. But as far to the best of my knowledge, we're the only entirely made in the USA travel bag, and I don't think there's another bag that outperforms or outlasts the bag that we've been building. So.
A lot of us take our cues on some things from touring professionals. Some of the things that we shouldn't take a cue on are the shafts that they have in their clubs and things that we can't possibly relate to, but they've all got your bag, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I said not quite all of them, but it's about the last Darrell survey we did was about 90%. And the funny thing is, if we were to ask for another Darrell survey, the people over there are going to say, Jeff, you're wasting our time. We already know that you got pretty much all of them using it, but it's true. It's one of the few products too that you can use nearly the exact same one that the pro uses. The pros use a really giant one. Most of us normal golfing mortals use the standard size last travel bag, as we call it. But it's pretty much the exact same bag, and it's one of the few products that you can use that's exactly like what the pro uses. So.
The construction of the bag is quite sensational. Give me a précis of how you got from the old days when you created, the covers from old wetsuits that you cut up and sewed the pieces together to where we are today.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because a lot of people ask where did that Club Glove name come from. It came from cutting up my wetsuits and making head covers out of them, and then when I started making a travel bag in 1996, all I simply had to do was interview golf pros and a couple of touring pros. And I didn't have any big names to talk to, but I talked to some serious travelers. And they told me that the average life of a travel bag out there on tour was 4 to 6 weeks at best. And so they just kept replacing them. And I thought, well, if I can design something that is protected, the lower corners, you obviously know we have that wheelbase on there that we have that protects so you can drag it over curbs and stairs. And then we went to probably the best lightweight fabric in the world, the Cordura, Invista Cordura. It's 1,000 denier. And then we use all nylon products, nylon webbing. We use YKK zippers. It's basically the ingredients. There's no secret to quality. You just use the best ingredients with every product. It's like making good food. You use the best ingredients, you're going to have a great dish.
Do recreational players pretty much right across the board get it? I mean, it's such a beautiful market in the sense that they're looking for you. You don't have to come look for them. All you need is a couple of really bad experiences with your present golf travel bag, and you're looking.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt you can go out and get yourself a $119 travel bag, which is probably, maybe the cost of your putter in that bag. But, to go ahead and spend, somewhere between $200 and $300 for a Club Glove is going to be well worth the investment because you will find that you're going to get at least 10 times the life, if not a lifetime. I mean, we've got people that still have been using them for 12, 13, 14 years. And it's just amazing. They just say, geez, the thing just gets dirty. That's about it, but it just keeps going.
One of the things that used to be a problem, and I mentioned just before I introduced you was that there was a time when you could really look for stuff to be broken because of the flimsy construction and the inappropriate material for the bag. Is there a secret or some things that you've learned over time that you can share with us in terms of packing the thing properly? I mean, obviously you can just lay it in, but do you advise further precaution?
Well, yeah, definitely when you pack your bag, I always recommend up around the club heads packing towels, maybe rain gear, anything that's going to keep things from moving. It's like packing anything that you ship in a box. You never have things bouncing around inside of the box. So if you do have extra rain gear or towels, put them up around the club heads. We also have another product called the Stiff Arm. I basically got the idea from Lee Trevino years ago, telling me that he used to put a tennis ball on top of a broomstick handle, and he'd measure it about a half an inch to an inch taller than his driver, and stick it in the bag so there was no way to break, that the club head could break. And so we developed a retractable device. It's like a crutch, and you set it. It's adjustable to any size. You set it about a half an inch larger than your driver. And the only thing about a soft case that could possibly happen would be if they drop it on the club heads, you could lose a driver head. So by having the Stiff Arm, which is a low-cost insurance item basically, we've eliminated that completely. So there is not a single pro that we've ever known, even in the 15 years we've been building travel bags, that's ever even used a hard case. But now with the Stiff Arm in there, we've all but eliminated club breakage.
One of the things that just occurred to me about traveling with the club glove is that you never have the weight issue come up when it seems like you might, but you don't.
Well, it's amazing. The standard size last travel bag, not the XXL, but the standard size, you can put a good size cart bag in there, any size stand bag, usually pack a ton of extra clothes in there, and it's rare that you'll be over 50 pounds. It really is if you pack it properly. And the club glove bag itself really only weighs I think it's a little under 12 pounds, just about 12 pounds exactly. So overall, that's one of the keys to the Cordura. It's probably the lightest, strongest fabric in its weight class.
Guys don't care about colors very much, do they, generally speaking?
Well, we carry a ton of colors, I will tell you that, but I will also say that half of all of our sales are black.
That's what
the other half are the other 15 colors combined. But I will tell you this, it is handy. People say, well, why would I ever want a red bag or maybe even a yellow bag? We have a sun gold bag. I tell them, the last bag that gets stolen is going to be the bright yellow one because it's like trying to steal an ambulance.
And it's the first one you're going to spot, too. I mean, it's just like everybody's got a black suitcase and everybody now puts different colored ribbons on it.
Exactly.
To have a bag that's a different color when those 19 go to that, the oversized thing, it's huge.
We have had stories with club gloves where guys have grabbed the wrong bag and gotten to their destination. They open up their clubs. Of course, everything's pretty well identified with golf bags, so they've been able to contact each other and swap their bags back. But there's no doubt that the luggage world is a sea of black. You just go to next time you're at the luggage carousel, just check it out. I think it's got to be at least 80 to 90% black bags. So I recommend getting a color for your golf travel bag.
Well, you were nice enough to give me the option of a color, and I went for non-black because I want to distinguish it from all the other ones when we show up in Scottsdale next week that are on that oversized luggage. And I thank you for your consideration, and I really appreciate you coming on today. It's something that I've owned for a very long time, and it's a subject that we haven't touched before. So thanks for coming on and considering that there isn't anybody else that we would rather have on to discuss this subject. Thanks big time.
Well, Peter, there's one little thing. The last time I saw you actually in person live was back in 1999 at the Orlamar Golf Challenge over in Lanai, if you remember that. It was such a great golf event. It's ironic that's one of the events that you and I actually played in at the same time. I don't know if you recall that, but the only thing that made it memorable was it was the unfortunate passing of Payne Stewart that exact day. But that's last time I remember seeing you in person, and that was quite a fond memory playing golf over there in Lanai. So.
I remember you, too, and I remember the trip vividly, and it was a horrible day on that Monday. I remember we were all up on the practice tee, and it was very early morning, and And Chichi Rodriguez came over and said there's something wrong with Payne's playing. And then it became clear what that was. And I remember Roger disappeared. And that night, Stephen Stills, who happened to be over, played one of, you'll remember, Payne's favorite songs. And the moon rose during that particular tune. It was an incredible thing to be with that group of people, including yourself, at that particularly horrendous time.
That was magical. It's so funny because I just ran into Mark Rolfing about a week and a half ago up in Pebble Beach, and we spoke about the same thing when Stephen Stills sang Southern Cross with the moon behind him and Maui in the background. That was quite exceptional.
Yeah, it was. And, it's funny, strange, Jeff. A couple of weeks before Payne passed away, I happened to be with him briefly behind the 18th green at the old course, and we were to have done some TV a few weeks before, and he had said something in public that he wanted to distance himself from being on TV for a while, and he said, hey, we're going to both be in Orlando next month. Let's play. Let's get drunk. Let's do some television. And he said, and don't ever forget this. We have all the time in the world. And he had 2 weeks left to go.
Well, thanks again for having me on, Peter. I really appreciate it. It's kind of fun to reminisce about those old times. Obviously, the passing of Payne's not too fun to reminisce about, but I'll tell you, the golf trips, this game, this sport has just been such a wonderful part of so many people's lives. And obviously, anybody listening that plays the game knows what a wonderful sport it is. And it was just another great moment. So
let's keep this relationship going. Come join me again on radio in a few months, and let's continue to spread the word about Club Glove, and it's clubglove.com.
Always happy to talk about our fine American-made products here. Thanks, Peter.
Good to be with you, Jeff. All good things for the holidays to you and your family.
Likewise. Take care.
Thanks. Jeff Herold, founder, CEO of Club Glove USA. Again, that's clubglove.com, and we'll be right back.